I awaken from the darkness. It's October 8th again, as usual. We're back at the start. Oh, Jesus, I scooted my chair forward. That's my bad.
Oh, it is me.
Alright, we're just gonna start out. We're gonna do a scene change. And we'll start again. God, I hate you.
Hi. Action. I awaken from the darkness. Wait, fuck. Wait. What's my Hunger Monkey voice? Do I narrate in that voice? I guess not, right?
You're fucking Batman, bro. No. Yeah, do your Bruce Wayne to your Batman.
I awaken from the darkness. I awaken from the darkness. It's October 8th again, as usual. We're back at the start. Let's see, my master is still asleep, as I thought. Beautifully defenseless as always, in a way that arouses nearby men, namely me. She looks like a normal girl when she's sleeping. Whenever I see her like this, I get an overwhelming urge to really go to town on her. It's probably because she's always wearing that armor when she's awake. Thinking of her in terms of that rule of 10, the woman sleeping here so peacefully is, after subtracting 10 from 23, a mere brat of 13, right on the cusp of puberty. What? What rule is... Why are we subtracting years?
I feel like I don't want answers to the questions that I have.
Yeah, we're just... She's 23, that's great. It's good to know that.
Like, let's keep it right there.
And with this in front of me, it'd be weird if the urge didn't arise to play some kind of prank on her. But, well, now's not the time for that. This time, Bazit did a good job. Using my noble phantasm and Bazit's mystic code together to maximum effect, we defeated master after master. In the end, we even crushed Saber, who, up until now, had turned the tables on us every time. Vesta. My noble phantasm, which sealed Saber's movements away by inflicting a fatal wound, or at least what seemed like one, on her. The trick behind it is this. It's a curse of retribution. A curse that inflicts the victim's wound upon the attacker as well. If I were slashed across the chest with a sword, then my opponent would feel the same pain. And if my arm were cut off, my attacker would lose feeling in his arm as well. It's a passive noble phantasm to the end, but it has the huge point in its favor of ensuring that retribution will be carried out no matter what. Originally, this sort of reversal curse had hardly any effect on heroic spirits with strong magic resistance. Against one with magic resistance as strong as Saber's, it should, on the contrary, just make the damage to me even worse. But once the conditions for its use are met, Vesta will completely ignore its target's magic resistance. There are just two. It can be used only once against the same target, and the one who cast the curse must not have died yet. When I told Bazit about my noble phantasm, she said,
"Keeping yourself alive really is your specialty. With a noble phantasm like that, nobody should be able to kill you."
I got angry for some reason. It was as though she were saying she couldn't forgive a guy who dwells in such a perfect safe zone. But it's nothing so convenient as that. Vesta isn't the kind of noble phantasm that invokes itself. I have to carefully determine the right time to use it. It's a spell, so someone has to actually be around to cast it.
Oh, in other words, instant death would be bad?
How very insightful. It should somehow go without saying, right? I can't reflect the curse back to the attacker if I'm dead.
I don't know if you guys can hear the wee-woos outside my house. They are very wee-woo. Yeah, the Angermine has a lot of inside thoughts that should stay inside thoughts.
To be fair, it did stay an inside thought.
We're just seeing his inside thoughts.
We are listening to his inside thoughts. But he is literally the worst person on earth.
You're like, in reality, we shouldn't be listening to any of this. The wee woos are still wee wooing. Let's change the scene real quick so I can delete my wee woos.
Wee woo time.
Okay, wee woos are gone. Sorry, I jumped to a conclusion again. Your noble phantasm is certainly difficult to use.
You said it, but I have it reflected just a shallow wound. The damage to the opponent's small. On the other hand, if I try to take serious damage, I could die the instant I receive the injury. The preparations I have to make to use it are difficult for sure, but what's really important is that it's impossible to kill the enemy with Vergavesta. I can't even aim for a simultaneous strike with theirs. I can return wounds up the point they don't kill me, but I can't lay a scratch on them if I'm already dead. Therefore, about the best I can hope for is to take a nearly fatal wound, then somehow survive long enough to send it back at my attacker. It's a really roundabout way of doing things. But that was more than enough for me this time around. That's because I got a master with an ace up her sleeve that equals the power of a noble phantasm. A quasi-noble phantasm. Nah, it'd be a mistake to call it that. It's one of the few that, after the passage of untold millennia, has remained until the present day. A genuine noble phantasm. The noble phantasm's servants are just objects they owned while they lived, and are nothing more than lost legends today. But Bazet, no, those are the Fraga bloodline, have stubbornly kept charge of and handed down that sword until the present day. Fragrok's abilities are those of a simple ray of light, but its additional effects are truly interesting. It can't be invoked for use simply through being charged with magical energy. Rather, it's an interception armament specialized solely in countering. It won't be awakened unless faced with the opponent's greatest attack. As soon as the enemy starts that attack, Fragrok will activate itself on them before they can finish it. Fragrok is an attack with the power to go against the flow of time. As for the results of its use, look at how Saber went down for your answer. Once it comes down to a face-off between two noble phantasms, nobody can stand up to...
Well,
If there's another noble phantasm out there that can beat it, it'd need more than just speed or strength. It would need to have something about it that could undermine Fragrok's special characteristic. As far as I know, there's nobody with a freaking ridiculous noble phantasm like that. Well, except for that one bastard, maybe. I'm repeating myself, but in a fight between noble phantasms, Bazet's pretty close to a god of war. Then the rest is simple. I use my noble phantasm to its maximum effect to pave the way for her. I drive the enemy servant to a corner, lead them into using their own noble phantasm. And after I do, it's showtime for Bazet. The timing of Fragrok's invocation and the difficulty of activating it are of no concern to me. Whatever kind of pain and hardship is felt by the body of a human tasked with bearing a cursed sword from the age of gods, it makes no difference as far as I'm concerned. Bazet's never made so much as one wrong move in all this time. As a partner, that's probably the part of her most worthy of praise. Thanks to that, she was even able to beat Saber. Only the Ainsbury Master remains. The last ticket to Bazet's heart's desire is almost within her grasp. Man, the fact that things have gone this smoothly means we must have odds about as high as the stars in the night sky on our side. To put it bluntly, there's about a 1 in 4,000 chance it would turn out so well. That's about the number of stars that can be seen with the naked eye. Still, that doesn't change the fact we gotta start all over from scratch again, does it? Wow, maybe that was you. Bazet's eyelids begin to flutter. She takes a pain-sounding breath, but then, as though relieved, lapses back into calm silence. Should be another 20 seconds or so before she wakes up. Just kidding. Well then, once she's awake, she'll be itching for a fight, so I guess I'll go hide myself in the corner where I can shake and tremble in fear. If I try messing with her like usual, there's a very good chance she'll send my head on a permanent vacation from the rest of my body. I guess this is the last time I'll be able to see her clearly. Scratching my head at the trivial but lingering attachment I'm feeling, I retreat into the safe zone.
My consciousness slowly returns, overwhelmed with a fatigue so heavy that my body feels made out of lead. I take another deep breath and feel fulfilled. I've repeated this ritual countless times now, rebirth after rebirth. Once again, I've returned from that horrid abyss of death and come back here. No, that shouldn't be the case. Why? Why again? Even though I was certain I defeated Saber this time. Even though they didn't beat us, we didn't lose, not even once, and yet... After a rebirth, my eyesight is always fuzzy for a while. I survey the unlit room. Unger Minyu is not in his usual chair. He's off in a corner of the room fiddling with that puzzle.
Yo, looks like you're up, Master. How's it feel to have your life restored?
The same greeting as always. Like every time we return to this night after defeat, I confirm the usual matters with him. Avenger, what am I, or rather, what are we doing here? We beat Saber, the day ended, and after that... I have no memories after that. I have no memories of the fourth night after defeating Saber.
After that, we came back here. You should already know why. You've experienced it so many times already, after all.
He appears as no more than a shadow, almost hidden from view. All I can sense of him is his presence in the room. And he's grinning, the laughing face of a demon that delights in watching human torment. Unger Minyu, answer me, what is going on? We beat Saber, and Rider, and Assassin, and Caster, and Archer. The only one we still had to take out was the Ironburn's Berserker. So why are we back here at the first day again? I slam my fist into the sofa. My body, still stiff from rigor mortis, moves through the force of my anger alone. My servant, Unger Minyu, hasn't moved from the corner of the room but remains there, gazing at me as he grins. Why will you not answer me? You are my servant, are you not? Your role is to cooperate with me so we may fight and win together, so what is this? Irritation and disappointments in the words rushing out of my mouth like water through a burst dam. Well, of course. I knew from the start that this servant was not to be trusted. I don't know why I'm letting myself feel so disappointed.
There's no need to ask why, Master. I seem to remember already telling you this, but the two of us can infinitely continue in this Holy Grail War. Just as we defeated Saber, the fourth day ended and everything went back to how it was before. Every time you die, someone else gets the Grail, or the fourth day ends and we return to this night. No exceptions. As long as we're part of the Holy Grail War, we keep repeating these 4 days. Knowing all that, then why would you ask a question like this now, huh, Master? Pretty selfish of you, wouldn't you say? You've cheated death again and again, returned to this night each time. Every time you lost, you had to start over with a clean slate, so I'd appreciate if you'd spare me the complaints, okay? Because, after all, if you've gone through by relying on that convenience without questioning it all along, I'd say now's not the time to start doubting it.
Wicked laughter. My knees fall to the floor as I attempt to stand up. I still can't move my legs. How pathetic. Between my body without proper blood circulation and my personality that lets Avenger rile me up so easily, I feel about as cool and composed as a child. Avenger, let me get this straight. It doesn't matter whether we win or lose. When the fourth night comes, we are automatically sent back to this night. In exchange for being protected against death in these 4 days, we can only live in these 4 days. This is the rule of the immortality that I obtained.
You got it. Way to get right to the point. Come to think of it, I really ought to have told you that right at the start, huh?
My servant begins whistling in an entirely exaggerated display of high spirits. Of course. Of course. I'm sorry, what did you say?
I said do, I can't whistle.
Oh, I thought you said carousel, and I was like, what? Oh, you really can't whistle?
No, it's hard.
I liked your do-to-dos, though. Can you keep those going? Of course, an explanation like that doesn't begin to solve this riddle. There's still a veritable mountain of questions I need to ask him. First of all, why does the reset happen every 4 days? Is that the limit of your powers?
Who knows? I don't understand the reasoning behind it myself. Sure, it's a good thing that wasn't every one day instead, am I right?
Is it possible for us to get past the fourth day without relying on your noble phantasm?
Who knows? Anyway, it's not my noble phantasm, but a special privilege granted to you who made the contract with me. You're the one who decides what we do, not me.
In that case, we need to win the Holy Grail War within these 4 days, right? Once we do, it will mean the end of this phenomenon too, correct?
Who knows? We haven't tried it yet. Though it sure would be nice if it did. The way things are going, we'll be stuck in these 4 days till I don't know when.
I grit my teeth. There's no use in talking to Avenger if he can't answer my questions. Or rather, if he doesn't feel like giving me any serious answers. I'll be stuck in these 4 days until I don't know when. Up until now, I thought that all I needed to do was win against the others without dying myself. But the reality of it is, as long as I'm restricted to within these 4 days, they become a boundary that I cannot move beyond. 4 days. Whether or not I can defeat the other masters in 4 days. I can't. Not in only 4 days, no matter what I do. I can't defeat 6 masters in 4 days. This time, no, last time, when I beat Saber, I was at my limit. I got incredibly lucky in those last 4 days of battle. Of everything that these repetitions have taught us, that last time was just about the most perfect conceivable playthrough possible. And even then we weren't able to reach Einsburn. However I made my way through them, at the very end of the 4 days, a single enemy still remains. So do I need to change my methods? No, that's just as idiotic. If I wait for the other masters to come find me and try to take me out, my 4 days would run out just like that. And even if I fought to the furthest limits of my strength, it wouldn't be enough to make a difference in the end. In the first place, I only have 3 uses of Fragorok available for head-to-head fights like the one against Saber. 1 I need to use against Einburn, and 1 against Saber. So the last one I should use on a servant that can't be separated from their master? No. When I've tried to fight like that, I didn't even make it past the 2nd day. Moreover, the other masters aren't our only opponents. That swarm of unknown familiars and the mages controlling them. Say that by some unthinkable miracle we were able to win the war. Even after that, we'd still have this 8th enemy, who we've never so much as seen before, with their sights on the Holy Grail to get rid of. What a farce. With thinking like this, it's almost as though I'm fighting solely for the sake of continuing the Holy Grail War. As long as my contract with Avenger is in effect, I can never move beyond these 4 days. So in that case, I just need to break that contract.
What, Master? Something on your mind?
No, I just felt a little dizzy all of a sudden. It hasn't been that long since I reincarnated after all. No, that's the one thing I can't do. Then there's only one solution. Abiding by the terms of my contract with Avenger, I must win this Holy Grail War. Even though I already know it's impossible, I must destroy the fetters that bind me to these 4 days.
That all your questions? Here I was all ready for you to really let me have it.
The shadow's smile hasn't left his face. He's getting on my nerves. That guy's been completely lacking in motivation from the start. Even though he's the one who brought me out here, he acts like he doesn't care a thing for the war, and keeps saying stuff like, all I need to do is kill enemies, right? Without any clear goal, he's just going along with it. He's going along with the Holy Grail War without paying the slightest mind to my troubles. It's like, he's just enjoying this fighting that goes on forever.
Right, you already said it before, didn't you?
That's me! You monster! That's right, you already said it before, didn't you? Did you finally read to the end and see if I said your name?
Well, I saw that earlier, but like the quotes confused me. There's a lot of inner quotes, and so I thought that was a quote, and we're there. I got there.
That's right, you already said it before, didn't you? You whistling again? Let's continue this war, not let's start it or let's end it. You said let's continue it, didn't you, Angraminyu? Avenger's abilities gave us these 4 days. So does this mean everything is going just the way Avenger wants it to? The repetition of these 4 days occurs because of this man's wish to continue the fighting and killing. Avenger, I already asked you this. But our enclosure within these 4 days is not something you created purposefully, correct? It's only a side effect of resurrecting your master each time.
Yeah, Resurrecting the dead on the spot isn't one of my powers. All I can do is return everything to the starting point. As long as we have this contract, Master, you will never die. As for why the 4-day limit, I don't know either. Maybe that Einsburn Master does, though. They're the ones in charge of the Holy Grail, so they could know all about the trick behind our situation, too.
The words that Avenger, no, that Anger mind you speak are without falsehood. He's telling me the truth, or at least that's what I want to believe. Avenger, what will you wish for on the Holy Grail? When I asked you before, you gave a nonsensical answer, but in truth, this state of affairs itself is what you wish for. I swallowed those words down unspoken. I can't go saying that now. I have no proof that it's true, and besides, I have a hunch that the moment I speak those words, from that moment on, he and I will be enemies.
My wish hasn't changed, but what about yours, Master? What do you wish for once we win the Holy Grail War? Or even before that? What kind of wish was it that brought you here to Fuyuki City?
Huh? The smile has disappeared from the Shadow's face. From out of the shadows, Avenger's eyes bore into mine, his face deadly serious. No. What was I going to wish for exactly? A wish. My wish. I don't possess such a thing. If you forced it out of me, I'd probably say that to win the war and obtain the Holy Grail is my goal. No, but that's wrong. The moment I think that, dizziness assaults me. There's something I'm searching for. Something I want even more than the Holy Grail.
Hey, just what the heck are you looking for?
I can't remember. My memory is still shaky at best.
For real? Are you even sure there was something in the first place?
I fixate my glare on the shadow. The blood is finally returning to my numb legs, and I find I can move them freely again. I've had enough of our pointless chatter for now, Avenger. Racking my brain trying to figure you out as a servant isn't worth my time, so I'll just pretend my first impression was right for now.
What a pity. Just when I thought we were getting all nice and cozy. I'm right back to guilty until proven innocent in your book, huh?
If it bothers you so much, then maybe you shouldn't be so... No, it's just that I need to be on my guard. Avenger, starting tonight, we're changing our strategy. To win this Holy Grail War, we must figure out what's causing your ability to be limited to a period of 4 days first. There's no possible way we can win this war in only 4 days. In that case, we just need to find out why everything ends once those 4 days have passed.
I see. You're pretty sharp, Master. Just one question. How do you propose we do that? You're talking about investigating something that even I don't have a clue about.
Why, you yourself already figured out how we'll do it. It will be a suicide mission, but it's definitely worth trying. And besides, cheating death is the one useful skill we have. I have to do whatever it takes. With the situation the way it is, I can't trust him. That's why I need to find someone else who knows Anger Mainyu and the other heroic spirits better than they know themselves.
Hey, wait up. I was just joking before. Let's not do this and say we did. How about that? You gotta be crazy wanting us to launch ourselves face first at the enemy's stronghold like that. I'm telling you, we're setting ourselves up for a trip to a world of pain.
Whether or not that's how he really feels, Anger Mainyu is opposing me with all of his might. The way he's looking at me with those pleading eyes, I can't help but think he looks like a puppy. And I'll admit that it's somehow charming, but I'll be damned if I let his calculated attempts to gain my sympathy throw me off track. My decision is firm. Make the preparations, Avenger. Our destination is the forest on the outskirts of town. By the day after tomorrow, we should reach the Einsburn Castle. Shouldering rock, and with the disgruntled Anger Mainyu in tow, I put the mansion behind me. Force of habit guides my hand into my pocket, and I tightly grip the earring inside it. Please let good luck be with me. That at the end of our struggle towards that winter castle, I may find the answer I seek.
Dun-dun. Chapter 5. We're gonna have so many new things on the map. Oh, we have a lot of memories too. Hello.
You may clear your throat.
Okay.
Oops.
Oh.
Sorry, I was so focused on you clearing your throat, I assumed you'd read the dialogue.
Once again, I had a dream that has nothing to do with me. I now have a headache, probably caused by my irregular schedule of going to sleep and waking up all at different times.
Wow, mood.
It's just before 6 o'clock in the morning. The light coming through the window is a little bright, and the breeze seeping through the gaps is a little chilly. Another Holy Grail War is happening at night. The city of Fuyuki meets its end on the 4th day. A newcomer that didn't exist until now has appeared. These incoherent thoughts pop into my head for a moment and then disappear without a trace. Even though I've never seen or heard these things before, it's as if a runner next to me is telling me they're fictitious yet real. Alright, I should get started. Shake off my odd delusions. The only dream I had last night was one about preparing for the cultural festival. I didn't have any other strange dreams. The sky is bright and clear. I'll go spend another day selfishly filling up an empty room. I'll go on ahead then. Oh. Gotta be Taiga?
Yeah. I'll go on ahead then. You too, Shiro, Sakura-chan. Make sure you're not late.
Fujine hurriedly takes off for work. The time is just past 7 o'clock. The atmosphere at the table usually takes on a carefree air once she leaves, but today a dangerous topic's been brought up.
Titties!
Senpai, lately it feels like there's something wrong with the town. Could this...
You mean it feels so safe it's during the Holy Grail War? Shiro already knows all about that.
It's been several days since the atmosphere in town changed. Seiba and Ryder got an inexplicable urge to fight. Despite having brought the topic up, eventually we decided that since we don't know anything, everybody should just investigate their own pace. Sakura, it's about time to leave for school.
You're right. Thank you, Ryder. I'll clean up right away.
No, Shiro and I will take care of cleaning up. You can...
Seems like we have a guest. I'll get the door.
Could it be the newspaper solicitor again, perhaps? If that is the case, it will be quite a burden for Sakura. Ryder stands up, a sense of bloodlust drifting slowly through the air.
Jesus Christ.
Seems like the problem with frequent soliciting has gotten particularly bad around here. Oh no, there's no need, Ryder. If it is the newspaper guy, Sakura's victory is all but certain. Being her field of expertise, interrupting her might actually end up badly. Is that so? Then I shall just watch carefully. Is it really true that Sakura's well prepared to deal with that sort of issue?
She's amazing, actually. Champion rank. But she did say that that's hard to do when someone you know is nearby, so we should leave her alone for now. Let's just quietly wait for... Uh-oh. Ilya moved.
Wait for... Oh, was that all supposed to be me? Weird.
Yeah.
Whatever. Wait for her to come back is what she was going to say. Total time required, 30 seconds. Having already repelled the overly persistent salesman, our champion...
I'm back. You guys look the same as ever.
Dun-dun, huh?
Huh?
Our champion has come back. Uh-oh.
Wasn't everyone stiffening up all of a sudden? How could it be I've gotten a wicked ghost or something haunting me behind my back? Oopsie, I did try to make sure they were all exercised before departing. Guess that leaving it to the first years to save money was not a good idea.
Hosoka Rin mutters something disturbing. Behind her stands an embarrassed-looking Sakura.
So, what kind of ghost do I have behind me? The long-haired, out from beneath the willow, grudge-holding type?
How much of that was intentional? The air feels too tense for it to be a joke.
Sorry, that face.
Oh no, Nei-san. There are no ghosts haunting you. I'm right behind you, so I can assure you of that.
Oh, that's good. It felt like a pretty strong stare. I was getting worried. I see. So that's just Sakura behind me. Sorry, I guess ghosts weren't the problem after all.
Yes, if it were me, I'd rather talk it out rather than hold a grudge. Don't get uppity after having just appeared out of the blue, I'd say.
You sure got gutsy in just 1 month, Mato-san.
You too, Senpai. No,
Wait.
that can't be me. Hold on.
Are you the top one? No. They have to still be talking to each other, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
You too, Senpai. Don't act like the head of the household after being away for a month.
The affectionate sisters laugh. Scary. This is definitely scary. We're gonna die. The next time these two open their mouths, the Emiya residence will turn into a living hell. That's why I said that seeking help from London will end up in a worse disaster. However, I am the true master of the Emiya house. I can't allow Kiritsugu's inheritance to become these devils' battleground. That's enough, you two. Prepared to die an honorable death, with no one to pick up my corpse, I get up from my seat.
Anyway, how about we stop the joke right about around here, Sakura?
Yes, this was sort of in poor taste, wasn't it?
Tick-tock, says the clock. My half-risen back and stretched out arm hang motionless in midair. What was that?
Pretty good preemptive strike, right? Just some British humor that I tried reenacting with Sakura.
Yes, when I went to greet her at the entrance, Nei-san claimed it would surprise you, Senpai.
They look really happy. When did these sisters get so chummy?
She opens the door and goes, let's fuck with Shiro immediately.
Okay, I got that. I'd like you to pick your jokes more carefully, but I'm definitely glad that it was a joke. That aside, why are you here, Tosca? A nod from everyone around.
What do you mean, why? Because there was an SOS sound out, of course. It's not like I had to come back just to play around. I'm busy enough as it is.
An SOS? From who?
Wait, this is really important.
An SOS? From who?
From you, of course. I don't care what it is, just hurry up and come help us. You wrote so much it sounded downright desperate.
No way, me? I might actually choose death if the only alternative is asking you for help. You can take my life, but you'll never take my soul.
What a thing to say. What do you think I am, anyway? That line about taking souls makes it sound like I'm the devil or something.
That's exactly like it. Put your hands on your heart and think back. Remember the mess you made at Ilia's castle during the summer break? What would you call that miscreant if not a devil?
That was an emergency. A tough decision had to be made. It's not like I sacrificed you because I wanted to, Emiya-kun.
I guess even Tosca thinks it was inexcusable. Her answer doesn't have much bite to it. That's good, very good. Back then, I very narrowly avoided being reborn twice, but it looks like even Tosca is reflecting on her actions. Well, anyhow. Anyway, so you're saying that you got the SOS signal I don't remember sending out and came back right away because of it?
That's what I'm saying. There's no way I would come back unless you asked me to, Emiya-kun.
And you abandoned all your London matters?
Yes, can you blame me? I couldn't help it. I was so worried I couldn't sleep after reading that. Besides, Ryuki is under my jurisdiction, so of course I would have to come see how things are going, even if you hadn't asked.
She turns her face away peevishly. Then, with her luggage in hand, she turns back to the hallway.
At any rate, I'll be staying here for a while. Should you all have anything to talk about, come to my room around nighttime. I'll go have a look around town during the day for you, too. See ya!
You rushes to leave the scene.
That's how it is, so be nice, everyone. It seems like Nei-san is a bit embarrassed having to come back halfway through.
Saber and Ryder, who haven't had the time to digest the situation just yet, simply nod.
I see, now that Rin is here, everything ought to be settled soon.
Ilia stares off in the distance, seeming somehow lonely. I haven't settled on whether to rejoice or panic just yet. What I do know for sure is that another missing piece has just fallen into place. Anyway, Tozuka's back. Anyway, audience, you can play with Red now. Carry on.
Let's fucking go! Boop, 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 boop.
I'm gonna look at the other choices.
There are none.
Well, you could have backed out of the house.
There are none.
Hey, Tozuka, I was gonna ask you. Though there's some kind of response, I can't really make out what it is. Sorry, what was that?
Walk in and interchanging. Oh, jeez, what is it? The door isn't locked?
As I raise my voice, an annoyed response comes from inside the room. For some reason, Tozuka seems to be in a bad mood. It's really safe to open the door. But if I slip away after calling out to her, I don't want to think about what would happen to me afterwards. Wow, what a mess. Without exaggeration, Tozuka's room is so messy there isn't anywhere to stand. Considering the number of days she's been back, this is truly astonishing.
What? Did you come here to lecture me about it?
Under Tozuka's glare, I can tell she's really in a foul mood. No, that's not it.
Well, then what is it? As you can see, I'm busy tidying up.
Tidying up?
Well, what could you possibly be trying to say, Emiya-kun?
Oops, I just blurted out what was on my mind. Right before me stands a red devil, smiling sweetly, wearing the mask of Tozuka Rin, the honor student. No, it's nothing. It's just a small matter anyway.
Oh, in that case, could you leave it for later?
Yeah, sorry for disturbing you then. I back away, making sure not to lose eye contact, and close the door. But, the ability to make that much of a mess while trying to tidy up and still manage it in the end is really a talent. Is that it?
That's my bad.
Walkies! Alone! Oh, because we did all these with Saber, but we haven't done any of them alone. Because, why would we?
We start at the top?
Yeah, sure, Fish House.
Just go concert by itself.
Naturally, there's no one at the harbor at night. I sure know one guy who'd be enthusiastic enough to try night fishing, but even he seems to have retreated to his dwelling already. But Lancer doesn't seem like he'd go back to the church. He should be camping in some dilapidated or deserted house somewhere. For a moment, an image comes to mind of a place that'd be much to his liking, both well-stocked and deserted, but just perfect for trespassers and squatters. No, there's no way Lancer would be that foolhardy. There's no telling what kind of traps might be in there. Who knows, maybe he's freeloading off the Fujimura group. But why is he avoiding the church like the plague? Not only Lancer, but even the Goldie is staying away. Right now, there should be no one in the church. Does this mean the owner of that abandoned place has returned from the dead? October sea breeze is really cold. I'll go investigate somewhere else before I catch a chill. To the streets. To the temple.
Oh.
To the rear woods. With the maids.
Oop.
One refreshing morning, I find myself walking leisurely along the mountain trail. With sunlight spilling out through the grove of trees and a slight nip in the mountain air, everything is magnificent harmony. Truly a perfect day for a peaceful walk through the woods, and one or two out-of-character songs to be whistled on the way.
Hey,
then...
we're here whistling.
Dude, I have to read. Dude, to disrupting the ideal harmony of the scene. I find something strange standing in the middle of this wooden path. Huh? Liz? What's she doing on the mountain? The road ahead leads to the back of Temple, the high ground looking out over the outskirts of the city. She didn't just come straight from the castle, did she? Hey, good morning, Liz.
Good morning, Shiro.
She walks up to me, leisurely. It may sound rather blunt, but her manners somehow remind me of a baby duckling. Especially this unconditional emotional attachment I sense from her. Hey, sure is an odd place to meet at.
Yeah, for me, first time coming to Temple. Come often, Shiro.
Well, sort of. I have friends here, so it's nothing to do with the temple. I just drop in for a visit. What about you? You said it's your first time here. Do you need something?
No, nothing. But sensed a bad aura around here. Kind of.
Kind of.
Yes, to punish the evil.
Like this, the maid gestures as if strangling a bird. Terrifying. The fact that this maid does not joke around is what's terrifying. Hold on a second. What is that evil thing, anyway?
Have a look?
She just skipped over a few lines in the dialogue. Ugh, if possible, I'd like to ask what that dangerous thing is before seeing it. Can it actually be seen?
Want it?
And again, she skips a line, if not a whole paragraph. We're now at the top floor, standing at the very edge of a communication cliff. Do you have it?
Found it, there. I looked thinking maybe enemy of Ilya, but how's Ilya sent, too? Mystery.
Here, she stretches out her hand. Ah, thanks. Without thinking, I take the object. This is garbage. Some kind of a picture card, I guess?
This is summon
I ended up getting something like a... Yeah, that's what I was going to say, too. It looks like the little class card. I ended up getting something like a tarot card made out of a piece of cloth, it seems. Maybe it is a class card. Did you find it around here?
Was buried in ground. Definitely. Something ancient. Over 200 years.
What? Even older than the Holy Grail War? It's got to be a highly valuable archaeological artifact. Well, I'm not too sure about the over 200 years part, but let's leave it at that. Thanks, Liz. I'll gladly keep it. Is that really okay?
Yep, meeting with Shiro must be fate. If Shiro likes it, I'm happy.
That took me by surprise. Because she has a limited range of emotions, a statement like that from Liz has some serious destructive power.
Then I go back to the castle. Shiro too. Come play at the castle soon.
Back the way she came. Nope, she just goes straight into the woods. I don't want to think about it, but it does look like she just walked all the way from the castle. Yeah. See you later, Liz.
No, she had like a homing beacon on this fucking class card, right? And just like beelined it and was like, I don't know where I am. I've never been here before. And they're like, hey. Yeah, but be careful, Shiro. That definitely brings misfortune if keeping it.
Wait, so it is a cursed item after all. Not a trace of joy in her laugh. She disappears into the woods. What do I do with this? I stare at the mysterious card. Well, it's gotta be useful for something, right? And anyhow, I'm sure an even worse disaster will come if I just throw it out. For now, I just slip it into my back pocket and try to forget about it.
Alright.
Neat. We got a piece of garbage.
Oh shit.
Shinji in our room?
Yeah, what?
Might as well. Huh? Nobody's here? On the bulletin board is a note from Sakura saying, I'm going home for a while. On the fridge is a note from Ryder and Saber saying, we're going shopping in Shinto. Seems like everyone else is out and I'm the only one left in the house. Oh well, I don't have work, so maybe I'll just house sit. I hear the doorbell ring from the entranceway. I walk up to the door, wondering who could it possibly be. Find a very unusual guest indeed. For a few moments, we just look at each other in silence. I'm so confused that my greeting is delayed, and he doesn't seem intent on greeting me in the first place. If this were martial arts, you could say we were waiting to see who would attack first, but he's probably not here to fight. Hey, it's rare to see you here. You come to check up on Sakura?
Not really. I just happened to have something to do in the area and decided to drop by on my way back.
I see. If you have time, you want to come in? Knowing you, I bet you're walking. There's some distance from here to your house, so have some tea at least.
Tea? Oh, I guess that's okay once in a while. I don't have much free time, but I'll keep you company for a bit.
By all means. Sakura's out right now, but she'll probably show up soon. Let's wait in the living room until then.
I told you, this isn't about Sakura. Anyway, where's the living room? Not only is your house a weird shape, it's ridiculously wide.
Huh? Come to think of it, this is the first time you've come in here?
Well, I've never been here before, so doesn't that make it the first time? I've never had any interest in your house.
No kidding, we only ever hung out at your place. I felt bad about it, invited you here, but you seemed against it for some reason.
Of course, why should I have to come all the way to meet up in the middle of nowhere? Isn't my place closer to the school?
Though, well, for various reasons, Shinji's never been to the Emiya residence before. He came to pick Sakura up once, but he never went past the entrance. Okay, here's the living room. If you go right down that hallway we just saw, you'll reach the dojo, and if you go left, you'll come out by the outbuilding. That's where Sakura's room is.
That's pretty far off.
It's as close as Fujine would allow. So, are you a bit relieved as her big brother?
God, Emiya, you're being so annoying. How many times do I have to tell you I don't care about Sakura?
As he's saying that, Shinji keeps glancing towards the outbuilding. It seems he really was worried about how Sakura is doing and came to check on her. Hey, what do you want? Black tea or green tea? I call out to him from the kitchen.
What have you started drinking? Oh, fuck. What? Have you started drinking black tea, Emiya?
What are you surprised about? Well, the majority of the people here are black tea drinkers, so I don't have a choice. So, which one do you want?
I don't have much of a taste for either. Anyway, where's your room? Let's go there first.
Shinji sounds lively for some reason.
What?
Jeez, there's nothing particularly interesting about my room, though. It's right there. It's not as interesting as yours, you know?
That's for me to decide. Come on, hurry up and show me. I came all the way here, so at least let me see my friend's room once.
Fine, but no complaining when I do, Shinji.
Here? Oh, if it's all the way in the back of the house, it must be a good room.
Well, in terms of the floor plan, it's the best room.
Oh,
Says Shinji, his face shining with anticipation. He's smiling from ear to ear. A smile that quickly reverses itself the moment I slide open the door.
huh? What is this? There's nothing in here.
It's not like there's nothing at all. There's a desk and a floor. In the corner is a bookcase, although a small one. I put particular emphasis on the bookcase. I got to store the paperback novels I've been borrowing from Ryder lately. It's brand new and I'm proud of it.
The living room was better. Sheesh, you're just as boring as I thought you were, Emiya.
Having cursed me out, though still surveying the room all the same, he turns back towards the living room. So anyway, what do you want, Shinji?
Coffee with milk and 2 sugars.
All we got here is ordinary cow milk, you know.
What's wrong with cow milk? It's much better than cream. And I don't want any sweets. Don't make any weird fuss over me.
Thanks for that. The tea cake situation here is pretty dire. I put on coffee for 2 and return to the living room. Shinji's taking a seat, looking displeased.
Not only do you have black tea, but coffee too. You've changed, Emiya. Your tastes have really broadened for one.
I've always drunk black tea and coffee. I just like Japanese tea more. I've always liked all of them.
So you weren't like Ryoto after all. Then do you like alcohol too?
I still only tasted it. I work at a liquor store, so they give me some once in a while, but Fujimura-sensei comes over here every day. I'm sure you can figure out the rest on your own.
That's right, you can't have booze if Fujimura's here.
He sips his coffee in disappointment. It seems Shinji thought I'd be a bit more entertaining if I drank. Leaving that aside. Is it true that you haven't been going to archery club lately? Sakura seemed disappointed.
Why should I? Don't confuse me with Mrs. Zuri. We're already in the autumn of our 3rd year, you know. It's not like we can do club activities forever.
Why? You could just back Sakura up or something. You don't have a problem with Sakura becoming captain, do you?
Oh, isn't it good for her to have some responsibility for once? Mrs. Zuri can look after her on her own. And I'm not the only one you should be telling to go back to the archery club. Wouldn't they be a lot happier to have you rather than me? The autumn tournament is coming up after all.
Can't do that. I'm fine with just showing up, but it's too late for me to take up archery as a club activity again. A guy who only shows up once in a while taking up a bow alongside the rest would be unfair to the members who did it for 3 years straight.
You're as dull as ever. If you're good at it, you don't have to worry about that. You don't have any talents apart from archery, Emiya, so don't worry about making inferior people jealous.
Thanks for that, but in that case, what about you? You're really good, Shinji. I'm not flattering you. It's still not too late. If you aim for the tournament and train seriously, you could definitely make a good showing.
I'll pass. I have no attachment to archery. I've moved on. It was a nice way to kill some time and no more.
What a waste. You were natural.
That's a huge mistake. I have no need to excel in just one thing. That's for losers who don't have anything else going for them. It's unsightly the way people try harder to hone their own special talent, the more mediocre they are. A really capable person is someone who doesn't need to do anything.
Oh, if we go by that, then what about Tosuka? She can do anything, but she works hard at everything just the same, right?
There's an innate inclination towards poverty and suffering. There's no cure. She'd have it easy if she didn't do anything, but she likes hardship.
Right on target. You're pretty sharp, Shinji.
Of course, I've had my eye on Tosuko longer than you have. I'm in a better position to analyze.
Shinji drains his coffee with a gulp. After that, somehow philosophical statement.
Hey, give me some more. This coffee's pretty good, isn't it?
Come on, he says, arrogantly holding out the coffee cup. Our rambling conversation continues. We're both on our 3rd cup of coffee.
God, I would shit my brains out.
It seems Shinji started working part-time, and he gives me a report on how it's going. His senior coworkers are useless, the system they use is old-fashioned, and so on and so forth. If I didn't know the situation, it would sound like nothing more than one-sided complaints, but luckily I've heard rumors about the restaurant where he works before. According to Neko-san, to make up for the presence of their unmannerly new hire, Kitamura Tea House has improved its flavor and lowered its prices, or so she says. But I'm surprised that you're working, Shinji. According to Tosuka, the Matos are quite rich. Old man Zoken may not look it, but he's got quite a lot of money on hand for a retiree.
It's just a little diversion. Well, I'll need my own money after I graduate, too. My savings on their own wouldn't be that reliable, so I thought I'd start earning some now.
After graduation, do you mean you're leaving home?
Oh, really? But I'd look stupid if I did, leaving with no money. But, well, I guess I'm leaning towards going to Tokyo. My mind's about 80% made up already.
The surprises keep on coming. Shinji leaving home, that has a different meaning than when an average person goes to live alone. Toe family are a lineage of magi. Even if they lost their magical aptitude, it's unthinkable for Shinji to just up and leave home knowing that history. If he left, that would be... Shinji, does this mean you're severing ties with the Mato family?
If you ask grandfather, that's probably how he'd put it. My father had a younger brother. It seems he left home and moved away somewhere, and he was disinherited altogether. That's what it means to leave Fuyuki.
I see. Have you told Sakura?
I have. I told her to think about her own plans, you know. If I leave home, then that's the end of the Mateo family. There'll be nobody to carry on the name, so she'll have to leave too.
Shinji.
What? It's only natural. Just so you know, the Mateo family fortune is all mine. One's grandfather drops dead. I'm coming back for it, so tell Sakura not to waste it all right?
Whether he's just trying to act tough or showing consideration to Sakura, even I can't tell, despite having known him for 5 years. But in the same tone as always, he mentions the best option for Sakura.
Well, I can hardly believe it. To think that this is the second time I'm talking about graduation with you, Emiya. When we first met, I never thought it would last this long.
Yeah, now that I think about it, we didn't have much in common. We spent more time talking like this than we did going out to do anything fun.
That's because you're no fun to have around. I only ever kept you company when I had no other plans.
You said that a lot. I must have backed you up in at least 24 different fights. It seemed every time I went to our meeting place after school, there were upperclassmen wanting to kick your ass.
It wasn't just me. Wasn't it your fault that they zeroed in on us? I can't help but stand out wherever I go, but being as intrusive as you is an easy way to make enemies when you're a kid.
Well, now that he mentions it, maybe so. Looking back, it was 5 years ago. It was right around this time of the year that Mato Shinji and I met. After school and the day before the cultural festival, a single first-year student was surrounded by third years. He was being picked on for making a sign that didn't match their design. I knew that first year had worked for days making that sign on his own, and that the third years hadn't done anything. So I couldn't help but butt in and give them a piece of my mind. Damn, you're annoying. In that case, redo it yourself by tomorrow. If I did, then they'd forgive the first year for his mistake, they said. Tit for tat, as they say. Those who go looking for a fight are sure to find it sooner or later. I let their ridiculous provocation get to me and got so carried away I ended up staying awake all night to make a new sign. One of my classmates saw the whole thing. He watched me as he made fun of me for staying behind to work, but in the end...
Will you cut out?
He watched me as he made fun of me for staying behind to work, but in the end, he never left. Harshly, he said.
You must be an idiot. You should have just kept your mouth shut.
And...
You know you're just being used, right? Those stupid third years in that first year who was thanking you a while ago have all long since gone home and forgotten about you.
He kept bothering me like that the entire time. And finally, in the early hours of the morning, when he saw the sign I'd finished according to the third year's design, he spoke.
You may be an idiot, but you're a good worker, aren't you?
And he gave me a friendly smile, just as proud as if he'd made the sign himself. That was the beginning of my relationship with Mato Shinji. From then on, though I hate to admit it, we became somehow inseparable. Our relationship continued, we remained friends after entering high school, but after I joined the archery club, we gradually grew apart. The thorn at the root of our estrangement was pulled out half a year ago. By then, we could no longer be the way we were 5 years ago, but we've been burying the hatchet, enough that we can at least talk like this. The clock strikes 3. Shinji finishes his third cup of coffee and stands up.
Is it that time already? I have to meet someone, so I'm leaving. And I only dropped by today because I had the opportunity. Don't get any funny ideas from it.
Got it. Are you sure? If you wait a little longer, Sakura will show up.
I'll pass. I'm not fond of noise. Just imagining everyone swarming on this place gives me the creeps.
I see off the visitor I've known for 5 years.
Alright, I won't go so far as to tell you to get a computer, but at least put a TV in your room. You're far too behind the times, even for a magus.
Shinji leaves me with one of his usual insults. But, though I'm grateful for his advice, I'm pretty sure I have a computer or two in the storehouse. I wonder if I should have told Shinji about our relatively high-tech household to correct his misunderstanding.
I kind of like that, like, you stayed up all night to make the sign, and he just hung out with you. The whole
Yeah, Shinji... I was just thinking, that whole scene, like, if Hollow Ataraxia Shinji was the only Shinji we'd got, or if, like, you know, the beginning of those Fate routes, you'd be like, oh wow, I can kind of get why he's an asshole, but like, interesting relationship dynamic here. Shinji just did some kind of irredeemable things in Fate.
Yeah.
So it's hard to like.
Yeah, he can't ever be likable, right? Like you see these
Like-
moments and you're like, okay, so like he was kind of a good friend to you in the beginning, but it was mostly a shitter, but not in a bad way, and then he just kind of goes off the rails.
Yeah, and I guess how much of that really happened is kind of up for interpretation as far as this timeline goes. Like, he's alive, so presumably the Heavens Feel stuff didn't really happen. But also, he had been doing it for a long time. You know, it's all...
Like, he did it in the other routes, we just didn't see it or know about it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Also, I need to refill my water.
You ready to go to the station front?
Yeah. Do you know today is Shiro Day?
I do, but I couldn't figure out if it was real or not. Because I kept seeing people say Shiro Day, but it was mostly like the same account tagging Shiro Day, and it was pretty funny to me, but I was like, I don't know if this is worth sending to Jake. Just because there are official days that are real.
Right.
But I couldn't figure out why this was Shiro Day.
Probably just like his in-game birthday or something. I don't know.
You don't know that off the top of your head?
August 24th. Ready? Good to
Uh-huh, yeah.
go? The sky is close. The tallest building in the city. Tonight the rooftop is once again strikingly lit by the strong moonlight. I don't really have a reason for coming here. I'm not looking over the city. Instead, my eyes are always directed upward. The moon is close. The eclipse shape of the moon somehow looks like a cup. Suddenly, I get the foolish notion that maybe I could reach it from here. I'd need a rocket to go to the moon. Either that or a nauseatingly long ladder. Without that, I wouldn't be able to get there. Might as well go back. Nothing to do here by myself. I leave behind the silver thread. This is where the sky, the empty sky, is. Even with this tall a tower, I can't reach the beginning. Like, psychopath walks out, looks up the moon, like, that would take a really big ladder, and then walks home.
I looked it up. It's about 250,000 miles to the moon. If each mile is 5,280 feet, that's 1,320,000,000 feet. So 132 million ladders.
Nice. It's a lot of ladders.
House stairs are 7 3/4 inches tall, so you need that's at 1,962,116,129 steps to make it to the moon. Well, this other math says 96 million ladders. Like it would sway so much. I would vomit everywhere. Everywhere. Do you want to hang out with Rin at the harbor, or do you want our mystery storage shed, or do you want to be Ryder?
Rin's new and fun. What's Rin up to at the harbor? Maybe he'll answer us there.
Hi, Minerva.
Tosca. Out for a walk by the harbor, I see Tosca.
Mm-hmm.
Tosca on a wharf. That's an unusual sight. Hey, Tosca. Waiting for someone?
Provided your luck is excellent, the person you're waiting for must come sooner or later.
What?
Nothing. Never mind. Good afternoon, Emiya-kun. What made you think I was waiting for someone?
Tosca muttered something that sounded like a fortune reading for a second there. That's funny. Well, it's you and at the harbor, right? So I thought you must be waiting on some luggage or some visitor or something.
This isn't a regional port. You won't see regular tourists here.
That's true, but still. This is where Kiritsugu used to leave from for his trips abroad.
No way. What was your father thinking? I see. Your father. Yeah. Going to an international airport would be just asking to get caught, so he basically smuggled himself to get around.
This conversation suddenly took a dangerous turn. I always thought he just liked boats.
No, May just never does things without a reason. Even if it looks meaningless, there is a reason. Yeah, now that I think of it, I could use this port too.
Toska nods, as if she's just discovered something very interesting. Gonna end up seeing someone off in this port again, aren't I? Right. Airfare's too expensive nowadays.
Huh? Oh. Right.
Oh.
Airfare is too expensive nowadays.
Huh?
Airfare? Understand? A round trip to London is really expensive, and even reserving a discount flight isn't enough. If I could, I'd just get a low-season touring package, then just disappear from the group at the right time.
Hearing Toska's disturbing travel plans leaves me speechless. I can totally see her trying it too. Her penny-pinching obsession's frightening. You shouldn't be causing trouble for people like that. The tour guide would surely cry.
Yeah, I know. I get mileage points for flying that far anyway. I was just saying how far I could take that idea. That's all.
Troubled, she stops just short of calling it a really awesome idea. Still, I'll tell you.
But still, I wonder if it'd be cheaper to go on a boat from here, for instance.
Toska, using a passenger boat is usually much more expensive than an airplane. Seeing as it does take way more time. Furthermore, traveling by a passenger boat is a luxury nowadays.
Is that so?
Hey!
Besides, the old man used fishing boats or freighters.
That's a great idea. If you worked on a fishing boat to London, Shiro, that'd kill two birds with one stone.
Wait a minute, that won't work. I'd like you to stop talking about volunteering me for long-term employment on a fishing boat as if you're doing me a service. And I'd also like you to stop looking so serious about it.
No way, and here I was thinking what a great idea it was.
I'm the one who should be shocked. Anyway, if we do that, it'll take no less than half a year to get to the destination, would it not?
My mistake. Then we can try stowing away aboard a freighter.
I'm begging you, stop with the smuggling. If we go somewhere together, I want it to go normally. I can save up cash for my part-time job for my own plane ticket at least.
I withdraw my previous comments. I'll pay for you. I'll pay for all the travel expenses. I'm the one taking you along with me after all. I'd be a pathetic teacher if I couldn't do at least this much.
Where did that come from? Huh, looks like I tugged at her heartstrings.
I was thoughtless. Let's leave inquiries into extreme measures like that for emergencies, even though it'll be more expensive.
Yes, please. Rather than stowing aboard a fishing boat or a freighter, I'd like a normal, or if possible, extravagant trip. Albeit, if we go to London, we'll probably have no choice but to cram into economy class. First class, let alone business class, is just a dream at this point.
Yeah, if only we could just say, win a lottery and splurge a bit.
Saying that, Toska makes some excited gestures.
It wouldn't be bad for just the two of us to go cruising, would it?
That's a luxury. Might be setting the sights a bit high, huh?
Maybe. Until then, we'll just have to tighten our belts and live frugally. On a seat with my leg falling asleep someday, we'll play under the Caribbean sun. Thinking like that all the time.
It's a dream. An extravagant cruise with sailing on a yacht in a resort. Honestly, it's so luxurious I have trouble imagining it.
We have to work hard towards that goal, starting from today, Amiya-kun.
Understood. I'll work hard so I can go with you on a holiday vacation.
Well, looks like I'll be the one taking you, though.
It'll be a difficult challenge, but with effort comes results, huh? While we talked about our dream, the sea breeze started blowing at our backs.
The wind is picking up. I just wandered here, but what about you? Did you come to fish?
Nah, I didn't come here for a reason either. Want to head back to Shinto?
Is that so? Oh, I almost forgot. I have some shopping to do. Come with me for a bit, Emiya-kun.
I'm with her, meaning carry her bags all the way from Shinto, huh? Just that much is easy. Got it. I'll follow you till the ends of the earth.
You're gonna tell me that we're not in love?
Oh, we're so dating.
You just said you're gonna follow me to the end of the earth? Hi, Soren. God, please, fucking Fortnite, dude. Oh no.
I played one game of 4-man Fortnite in my life, and it was with you and 2 of your friends, and we won, and never played again. Undefeated, champion.
Oh, bro, no build Fortnite was so tempting when it came out, though.
Oh yeah, no build Fortnite did seem really fun.
You can play fucking Naruto Fortnite? No build? It'd be lit. You were 9? That really checks out, honestly.
Yeah, that makes you 13 now.
Yeah, he's requested me on Instagram a few times, and I'm like, you have to stop, my child. We got to play Fortnite as a family because we were nice, but that's it. Where do you want to go?
A lot of choices.
Yeah, and then we also have the harbor choice.
Oh, fuck. I guess I want to go to the harbor so that all our choices are on the same screen next time we come around.
I love how that's the logic.
The harbor, there's a familiar face. Lancer can be found anywhere, but in the afternoon, this is where he devotes himself to his hobby. Well, what should I ask him about? He got his life story last time.
Mm-hmm.
I guess just go start from the top, like go ask for cooperation. You know, the noble phantasm that beats Bassett's thing is probably Lancer's, right?
Yeah.
Because his like a whole reverse of cause and effect might overwrite the whole like reversing time thing. Well then, I'm not entirely sure myself how I reached this conclusion, but I feel that to defeat the enemy that I haven't seen, I need the help of others. Archer's out of the question. Caster is currently a pacifist. Assassin might as well be a statue. Ryder simply doesn't care as long as she can protect Sakura. Ilya's enjoying herself just sitting on the sidelines and watching. That means he is the only one left. Hey, Lancer. I wave and greet him. Complicated rhetoric doesn't work on this guy, so I get straight to the point. I'll explain it the best I can. The abnormality of these 4 days. How even though we've never met, I'm vaguely aware of the 8th Master's appearance and fighting style. That the Lady Magus is part of the abnormality happening now. And since Saber and I are a poor match for her, perhaps I could borrow the support of another servant. Lancer doesn't turn around at all. His eyes are lazily staring at the sky, looking more and more displeased. Let me confirm. No.
You got it. He's muted. He's practicing. We can see him practicing. We gotta make Jake bigger so we can see him practicing. Jake, you're being lost into the void. We can all see. Look how hard you're working. You're working so hard. I'm so proud. Did you find it? I remember. Let me confirm something. This woman, does she have short red hair and a business suit? Bro, can you not find it?
I don't have it. I can't. Like,
I can see you struggling.
Because in my head, my like character bible for Lancer, right, is just like you do the Archer voice and you add some bestial tone, you know? And every time I do that, I'm doing a Batman impression. So in my head, I'm like, okay, gruff, right? And then I'm like, deeper voice, Archer talking, right? And then I put them together, and I'm like, let me confirm something. And it's just not helpful. I'm ready to go ahead.
Yeah, you're good.
Let me confirm something. This woman, does she have short red hair and a business suit? Yeah, and she wears leather gloves and punches people. Earrings? If I remember correctly, no earrings. Lastly, is she all in one piece? Huh? She looks healthy, I guess. Though I can't really say much about what's under the clothes. And the questions stop there. Lancer sighs. Harsh. Oh. Harsh. Ain't no reason to fight after you kick the bucket. He grumbles. Lancer, I still don't know who or what she is. All I know that she's an enemy. The next time Saber and I go on patrol, I'd like to ask for your help. Sorry, but go find someone else. I'll pass. Even though he says it in a relaxed tone, the refusal is final. This is what makes this man really scary. Only now do I realize he can smile while wielding a lance without mercy. Do you mind me asking why? It's just lack of interest, not because I don't like you. I still owe you a favor. You want anything else, you got it, but she's an exception. Even if the king gave an order, I'd still refuse. The way he says it, there's no room for discussion anymore. It's the word of a man who had never defied his lord when he was alive. It looks like Lancer will never get involved where she's concerned. Interesting. Walkies. Ghost house.
Ghost house.
If we go to the ghost house at night, Avenger should just stab us in the face and just resets the week, you know?
You know?
I guess they leave at night, right?
Yeah, they're busy doing stuff. They can't. I mean, I agree with you.
Like, because we went during the day and they weren't there. They have to be there sometimes.
Are they rebirthing right now? We're just too much of a pushing to walk upstairs.
It is like day 3, so they're probably out and around. I don't know. Who cares? They're not here when we are here. It could be a 1 hour difference. It doesn't matter. It's not too late. Should I go back? There's no point in coming here. I never knew about a Western house like this in the first place. I have absolutely nothing to do with it. It's just...
The font color, okay.
a story I thought I had heard somewhere. It feels as if I'm dreaming about a movie I saw before going to bed. Of course, the original film had been rewritten as they saw fit and remade in a contemporary style rather than simply revived. And yet, if there's one scene that hasn't changed one bit from the original, those two people in a Western house at night. I'm now trying to go back inside the film, inside the dream. Feeling a chill, I start running. I've already gone this far, I can't turn back. I need to make sure. Whatever there is, whatever awaits me, it's the source of this uneasy feeling that covers all the town. I enter a large room on the second floor. I see a scene I've seen so many times before. There is... What? Naturally, nobody here. There's no woman sleeping on the sofa. No rotten man sitting in a chair. Well, of course. Because during daytime, the conclusion is that it's nothing more than just a deserted old house. So in the end, those two don't even exist. That story is nothing but a dream, a mere fairy tale. Let's go back. I went a little too far tonight. I leave the haunted house behind. Just in case, I look up at the window on the second floor. Nothing abnormal. Why would I do this? Still puzzled, I start walking down the hill. Spooky. Oh god.
There's so
Oh
much.
god. So many options.
Why does it feel like we have more options than less options?
Well, every time we get a new Bazet scene, I think it gives us a whole like new window of options up here.
I made an executive decision.
That's fine. Come to think of it, from what Liz said, this castle should have a courtyard somewhere. Stella's the one who looks after it, so she'd be mad if I just went in off my own accord. If I'm with Ilya, though, there shouldn't be a problem.
Courtyard? We do have one, but it's pretty boring. If you want to go somewhere to play, don't you think the third floor that Rin messed up would be more fun?
That's more dangerous than interesting, so no. For now, I just want a carefree day to spend with you. So let's go someplace we can take a walk.
I'm sorry.
Oh, shit.
Oh?
1 second.
Oh? Was that a get up 1 second?
Yeah, you're right.
Oh, then I grant you special permission to enter the flower garden. Will you be okay wearing that? The courtyard is the coldest place in the castle, so you won't be able to enjoy it for very long without a coat on.
Is that right? Can I borrow a scarf then?
Sure, I'll bring you my favorite one. I'm going to get my coat too, so just wait a bit. I said it before, but the courtyard's nothing special. Because the Einbergs come from snowy mountains, we don't have a tradition of growing flowers inside the castle.
Still, Stella seems to have made a flower bed here after realizing that Ilya wished for one. She may seem strict, but deep down I bet she'd love to pamper Ilya a bit.
Okay, I'm opening it. I'm repeating myself. Don't be too disappointed, Shiro.
Dramatic. The door opens. A biting chill, unheard of for autumn, nips at my cheeks. A gray sky covers the old castle.
Why are you laughing?
Cheeks is so funny.
I thought it was the nips that did you in.
Under the dark sunlight of eternal winter, the garden jumps into view.
Oh man, I made a gay bulge fucking joke last weekend around people who don't watch Fate, and I was like, God damn it!
Oh, brutal.
It hurt.
The breath we exhale turns white. This is a place where winter really has settled permanently. The profound silence seems almost like it's engraved in the courtyard itself. The castle appears to have been built in a U shape. The courtyard's probably right in the center.
See? You're disappointed, aren't you? Stella tried her best, but when it's so cold you can't really grow any more flowers than this.
Ilya's voice lacks confidence. But for a commoner like myself, this park-like garden can only be something to be admired. That's not true. It's large and yet well-maintained. The colors are vivid. Seeing flowers bloom in spite of this cold is luxury at its finest.
I suppose, but its elegance isn't what it could be, I think. There ought to be a lot more decoration than this. Like covering the grounds with fountains or building a great big canopy and letting climbing vines grow over it. A big show like that to make everyone go, wow, that's what we need!
You really go in for extravagance, don't you? I think that letting it be and look natural like this is much more calming, though. There's not even a greenhouse. Don't you think that Stella planned it out this way?
Yeah? She only decorates it on special occasions and keeps it like this the rest of the time. You know, Stella's actually really gentle when it comes to plants and animals. She says living things are happiest when they're allowed to live simply and display their natural colors.
I see. She does say some pretty meaningful things. Does that mean that all the flowers here were actually naturally growing in this place?
I think so. When I first came here, this courtyard wasn't maintained that well, but Stella and Liz did a lot to improve the soil. They put the flowers that were already blooming here into more nutritious earth and added slate to the soil that was already here to reinforce it.
She talks as though it happened ages ago. But even then, the fact that some flowers were still here when Ilya came means that 10 years ago, this courtyard had been covered with them, probably. I see. So that means someday this whole place will have plenty of flowers once again.
Yep, and when that happens, I suppose I'll forgive it for lacking in elegance. Stella said she wants to make time raising them, so I'll be looking forward to seeing what they'll be like in another 2 years.
Courtyard grown to a flower garden, huh? I told her so myself, but if it really turns out that way, this will become the most luxurious spot in the whole castle, without a doubt. Oh, snow effects? We continue our aimless stroll through the courtyard. Lily is about twice as energetic as usual, running to and fro across the grounds.
Look, Shiro, there's a little bird on that branch over there. Wouldn't it be nice if she built a nest? Oh, there's something written on the pedestal over there. Let's see now. Date 00. On this day, construction of the flower bed began. May I be able to raise strong and healthy flowers within it? Wow! I can't believe someone made a commemorative carving! Oh! It's like something out of the Girls comic! That's so unlike her! Ah! Stop! Stay away from there, Shiro! That's a trap of burglars over there! If you step on it, you'll fall straight into the dungeon!
Oh, it's definitely true that just watching her is making me feel energetic as well. I could walk all the way to the forest like this.
Shiro! See that floating branch up there? Know what that is?
Huh? That would be... I don't know what kind it is. I don't think it's a walnut. That much I can tell.
Wrong! That is indeed a budding walnut tree! This one is known as a wingnut, and though you'll note its shape is different, it's a member of the walnut family all the same.
It's so funny to someone be like, what tree is that? And your one comment is like, not a walnut tree. Out of the millions of options. And they're like, wrong. That's a walnut tree, you idiot. The safest answer. Shoot, is that right? You should know your trees, Ilya. Like my dumbass.
Yep. I know all about different kinds of walnut trees. Kiritsugu was such a sneaky guy. I ended up remembering all this too much before I knew it.
Kiritsugu?
She could tell you every fucking iteration of walnut tree because your adoptive dad trolled her ass.
Kiritsugu means Kiritsugu, duh. Oh, that's right. I shouldn't suddenly bring him up in front of Shiro. The reason I first came here was because I heard about Kiritsugu's son and came to kill him.
Ilya's expression turns pensive. That was my mistake just now. Ilya was just keeping a light conversation going, and I had to go and screw it up. Sorry, that didn't come out quite right. I know you didn't mean anything serious.
No need to apologize. I was just as careless. Neither of us handled that very well, so let's forgive and forget. And besides, I don't know what to do if you apologize like that. You sure are quick to look relieved, aren't you, Oni-chan? I'm still so upset after all.
Ugh. This little devil's still in top shape, I see. But even so, I feel that she's not motivated by hatred, but rather by affection this time. It's the role of the older brother to just accept the situation. Got it. I'll be more careful. Since I don't want to die just yet, I'll prepare myself so if you're going to come at me, then I'm ready for you. Anytime.
Okay, then whenever I feel like being spoiled, I'll come assault you. And no excuses next time.
She answers with a smile that looks like it's about to pounce on me. What have I gotten myself into here? I'll really have to double the intensity of my training now. But about what you were saying before, what did you mean when you said Kiritsugu was a sneaky guy? Did the old man do something to you, Ilya?
Yeah, he did. He was really sneaky, so when we went looking for winter buds together, he would count all kinds of walnut trees I'd never even heard of, like wingnuts and platycardia. I only knew what regular walnut trees look like, so there was no way I could outcount Kiritsugu. But even though he knew all that, he never told me there are other kinds until I noticed myself.
You only knew what red walnuts look like, so you can only count those, but Kiritsugu would count the blue and yellow walnuts too. That really is totally unfair. How can you hope to win against 3-to-1 odds like that? My old man was pretty immature himself.
I know, and even though Mother knew, she never told me, and I had to figure everything out myself. She even said she was jealous that I got along so well with Kiritsugu, even though they got along really well themselves and were together all the time.
Ilya thrust her small lips out in a pout. That gesture just now was really cute. Hold on, you said that your mother and Kiritsugu were together all the time? What's... Kiritsugu was living alone. Emiya Kiritsugu left his wife and daughter behind and came here to fight alone. That's what she said.
Like I said, Kiritsugu was a sneaky guy. Certainly during the previous Holy Grail War, Kiritsugu fought alone without leaving Saber. But that's a lie. Kiritsugu brought Mother along with him to Japan, and he was definitely using her in a master's role, having never really talked to Saber. But because of that, Mother died. Kiritsugu decided he would fight alone, win alone, and continue on to the next round alone each time. But no way was everything going to go that smoothly for him, right? In the end, Kiritsugu could not betray himself. He just leave my mother, Vio, no, both of us behind and fight alone.
Ilia's account of the events from 10 years ago is awfully fragmented, and I don't think I'm quite getting it all. But what I do understand is... So, when Kiritsugu came to Fuyuki, you were left all alone. And Ilia's mother died here in this city.
No, that's not it. Even after Kiritsugu left, Mother was always with me. But the woman who died for Kiritsugu's sake in the Fourth War was definitely the same mother who gave birth to me. And furthermore, I think the one who was really all alone wasn't me, but Saber. I said so before, but Kiritsugu and Saber never understood each other right up to the end.
Saber told me the same thing. Kiritsugu never really talked to her, and in the end, without allowing the Holy Grail to take form, he ordered her to destroy it with a command spell. I see. So that means Saber was acting independently of Kiritsugu?
She'd have to add to, wouldn't she? There had to be some times when they worked together, but most of the time they went their separate ways. That's what she said. Saber was always really open with me, even knowing that I was Urispil's child. Oh, that Saber, she even thought I was just a standard Einsborn homunculus at first and not Kiritsugu's daughter. Awfully rude of her, don't you think?
That war of 10 years ago. Even though she remembers it all, Saber obstinately refuses to talk about it. It's already in the past. Now that all the participants are gone, there's no reason to dig up the old bones. However, there are still those who bear the scars of those times here. A survivor of the war and a girl who was left alone in the war of 10 years past. That the two would have the same father, the spiral of fate must still be turning as it always has.
Come on, Jiro, don't make that face. We can't forget about the past, but we don't have to drag it back out either, right? We are who we are. It's fine if we just go on living our way.
There's only honesty in that smiling face. As though to cheer me up, Ilia turns to look straight at me. Thank you. I'm really happy to hear you say that. But still, it feels like something doesn't add up. You said something about still feeling unsatisfied before.
That's another story. There's no changing how things turn out with Kiritsugu, but that doesn't change anything about you, right? Which means that chasing after you, Oni-chan, is already my life's work!
Thank goodness, Ilia seems to say as she frolics about.
Ooh,
Oh, is this what it feels like to be overflowing with affection for a younger sibling?
So now that we've cleared that up, let's talk about something less boring. We finally have time for ourselves. Let's use it properly and go play.
She pulls my arm to urge me along.
Do 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 do. Oops.
I can definitely agree.
Sorry. It's your turn.
Alright, then let's go play until the sun sets. Let's see, why don't we head towards the forest?
Yeah, let's! And I can teach you all about the different kinds of walnut trees while we do. Even though it's far away, there's still the Einsborn forest. There's probably more walnut buds than we can count out there.
Ilia takes my hand in hers, and together we leave the garden. A search for walnuts that spans the divide of 10 years. A bond that a man formed with his young daughter long ago. The baton has now been passed to me.
Bloop, 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 bloop. Okay.
Oh, it's just night at the castle. I guess we should click this and then save out, probably. Try my best.
Save and title.
Oh yeah, we gotta see this. We gotta go check the shop and make sure there's nothing new in there.
Oh.
This time for sure. Yo, what? It's the little chibies.
These little drawings are the absolute best.
I like them a lot. What Ryder has Bellerophon in her basket?
The production director's Caricature Series, Part 1. If possible, I'd like to collect them all as life-sized plushies. You're finally starting to lose it, huh?
Waited so long for that.
What?
Oh, those are Avengers weapons.
It's the... Oh.
Oh.
I clicked too
I'm gonna go
fast.
through it again. Who would? These are probably throwing daggers crafted by the Azande or Ubangi tribes of Central Africa.
Aren't these different? They're a double phantasm, right?
No, not a noble phantasm, but they are quite a unique item. Just like Berserker's Axe Sword, it's an object that's an accompaniment of the person.
I'd like to hear the details.
If you're fine with just the specs, then I shall tell you.
This
is a pair of reverse grip weapons, named Tarich left and Zarich right. While the enemy's blade is caught with the left, the right is used to attack.
In Japanese, their names would be Hidari Shishigami, left death god, and Migi Shishigami, right death god, right?
As you can see, the shape was fashioned to imitate the fangs of a beast. In the era they were created, they were probably worshipped as real demon's fangs.
Demon's fangs, huh?